Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Noobifier recently put up a video, Enough is Enough, fixing the pledge system and the new player experience. It's worth a watch if you want to fully understand this video, as it's going to be a reply and some of my thoughts on that subject too. I will do a quick summary of Noobifier's video here though, so I can explain my points a little bit better. So in the video, Noobifier explains that the new player system, when it comes to purchasing ships, is confusing. LTI is almost meaningless now, as you've been able to upgrade up from a cheap ship to one that you want in various concept sales or via yearly promotions that give you 4 or more years of insurance or lifetime insurance. He argues that lifetime insurance should be on all ships and packages, and goes on to talk about artificial scarcity that limited sales create, and that feeds the grey market. With this point, he continues to argue that there should be no need of a grey market, and that if most ships were made available to purchase all year round, this might actually benefit CIG financially, as people would purchase items when they wanted more often when they had the money available on paydays or for presents or windfalls or whatever. With this, you could then phase out CCUs, cross-chassis upgrades, buybacks and buyback token systems, as ships could be melted and then you'd be able to buy whatever you wanted whenever you wanted it. The incentive to buy during a concept would be to get an early reduction in price. You'd get the ship for $100 rather than $125, for example, and the ship would be available in the store immediately after a concept sale had ended at that higher price. So you get the concept sale for 2 weeks, and then after that 2 weeks at that cheap price, it goes onto the store permanently, but at the higher price. He then goes on to talk about multi-ship and physical packages and suggests that being able to individually melt ships and items from a package may be a good idea, and he also suggests that for early backers of the game that they should be given potentially exclusive flair and items in the same way that Concierge have had the golden weapons and armour. This would help make up for lifetime insurance no longer being exclusive effectively. So I wanted to talk about my opinions on this as well. As backers of the game, it's important that we discuss and put forward our points of view in a constructive way. It's one of the major parts of the Star Citizen project I love, the open development, and Noobifier has very much done that. He's gone forward and he has talked about his point of view on those various subjects and put forward propositions of how to fix them. However, I don't feel like we're going to affect much in the way of change in the way that CIG do sales, as they're clearly very good at generating funds in the way they do everything. However, there's no reason for us not to talk about it and try. Lifetime insurance. Let's start with that. This has actually been partially addressed already by CIG ASME, stating if you own something that is destroyed, say a constellation that only has 3 months of insurance, and it's run out before it was destroyed, you will need to pay more to have it replaced in-game, referring to UEC, the in-game currency, but it won't be permanently removed from your account. For items like weapons, shields, etc., we're still working out how insurance will cover these items that aren't included with the base ship, but it won't be a case of them being gone for good. So with that, they're basically saying, potentially, there's effectively lifetime insurance on everything. I think one of the major issues that we have is that we don't have a fleshed out insurance system at the moment, so we can't really go into what lifetime insurance actually means in real terms. At the moment, we have a vague idea that it's better than not having it. I'm very much in favour of ships being available on sale straight after concept permanently, like Noobifier suggests. That's a great idea. That actually makes sense. CIG could still have exclusive flair and skins that you'd get only if you buy during the concept sale too, have them at a cheaper price. It's just the major ones like the Idris or limited ships like the Phoenix or the Scythe or whatever that you want to sell on special occasions or keep off sale entirely, or just have a percentage of them existing in the verse based on player population. Early backers of the concept should be able to get that at that reduced price, as I said, and then it goes up after that. Great idea. The grey market, I don't really have strong views on. I think there's always going to be a black and a grey market in a game for something, so just kind of bear that in mind. The grey market kind of exists, it still makes CIG money, they're still going to sell just as many ships. I know a lot of people that use the grey market, and I don't really have strong opinions either way on it at the moment, though I'm a dynamic individual, and I may change my opinions on any of these points or on the grey market in the future. With that, I would be in favour of getting rid of buybacks and buyback tokens, but not CCUs, not upgrades. Players that want to upgrade the ship in the starter package should be able to, and I'm in favour of lifetime insurance as a perk, even if all ships kind of end up having a slightly less beneficial lifetime insurance, like a statutory insurance, which isn't as good as lifetime insurance, and I think that is maybe vaguely the plan they are going towards at the moment. But, as I said earlier, I think we need lifetime insurance defined after we have more of an idea of insurance, what insurance is available, and what it all means. Melting items out of a multi-ship package would be cool. I'm always for more functionality. However, I feel it's a bit more of a headache than it's worth, especially from CIG's point of view. Packages get you discounts, CCU them up, or melt the whole package. That seems pretty easy to me. That's the way I'd solve that problem. I also want to say that early backers getting exclusive flair, that sort of happened already with the funding milestones. Backers got items and UEC and that sort of stuff for pledging before certain dates, before certain milestones and funding totals were hit. Really, my wants here are to have more communication and definition from CIG, and it's fine for things for them to change and to get it wrong. I just want the most accurate thing as possible at that particular time, and for anything that changes to be communicated at its earliest possible instance. I do agree with a lot of what Noobifier had to say, to be honest, but vary in some of that implementation and what needs to change. Lifetime insurance for me has always been a very minor perk. However, I do want it on my ships, and we need to have more of an idea about progression and the value of ships and how much UEC they can earn and how much items and ships will be in UEC, and start giving us the latest updates on what they're thinking that certain mechanics are going to go, their latest sort of like ideas on them, like this is how insurance is going to work, this is how insurance breaks down, these are all the different types of insurance. Give us those documents, show us them. This is the sort of stuff that the community will love and adore, even if it changes drastically. We want to see the project as it expands. These sort of documents are shown later in the process in an ATV where they talk about, well, insurance changed over time, and we see 3 years of insurance documents and how they changed and little flow graphs and stuff. Show us that stuff now if possible. That would be great. But what do you think? You can get involved with the conversation on Noobifier's video or directly in my comments below, or both. I suggest you go check out Noobifier's video as well, as it is definitely well worth a look. Also in the comments, tell me what you think of this kind of video. Do you want me to address what other YouTubers and streamers have said, particular subjects, controversial topics, particular mechanics, and just have a bit of a chat and rant about them and get my own personal opinions out and get like a little bit of conversation going with the community? Do you like that idea? Great, tell me. If you don't like these sort of videos, you're like, no, not for this channel, keep them for the stream, whatever, then tell me about that as well. Every month we have a giveaway for a ship. This time for April, it's for the massive heavy salvage ship, the Aegis Reclaimer, provided by our featured app, My Radar. My Radar is a free weather app that also includes full-scale maps of the 3 moons of Crusader, Yela, Selen, and Daymar. Users can scroll around the interactive maps and zoom into the landscapes and geography of those moons. My Radar is available in the US, Europe, Japan, South Korea, and coming this summer to Australia. It's also a real-life weather app, so you can see the real-life weather in your area in those countries, and it's available on iOS, Android, and Windows. Check out the links below to download and find out more and all that sort of jazz. To be in for a chance of winning that Reclaimer though, make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my Star Citizen videos through April. Each video gives you another chance to win. Do you have any questions about Star Citizen or Squadron 42's development, gameplay mechanics, or anything we talked about there? Get involved! Woo! Chuck them in the comments below, your comments. Chuck them in the comments. A special thank you to my Patreons that allow me to create the amount of content I do. If you're interested in becoming one of them, you can find the links to Patreon as well as everything else we've discussed down below too. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really does help me, and I'll see you in the verse.